Hey, what's going on guys? It's Wispin here and welcome back to another video. Today I'm actually going to be showcasing all of the brand new autumn themed Pokemon that we are adding to the Pokecentral Network. Now before we go ahead and show off all of the Pokemon, I just want to start this video off by saying all of these Pokemon will spawn in the wild on the server and you will actually be able to find them and catch them. They will not be inside of Aura eggs, they will not have their own custom egg, so the only way to actually get these Pokemon is through giveaways as well as through finding them out in the wild. Which does mean these Pokemon will probably end up being as rare, if not rarer than Shadow Pokemon, and probably even rarer than Aura Pokemon, which could end up being kind of crazy. I am going to set these spawn rates a little bit higher than Shadow Pokemon, so they should appear slightly more often. But with that being said, because there is no alternative way to actually obtain them outside of them just wildly spawning, they are going to remain pretty rare. Now, I am working on my brand new house. If you guys do want to check out the construction of this house, the progress of it, make sure to go ahead and watch my Pixelmon series that I do here on the network, but we're not really going to get into that in this video. But we do have this nice little room in our house, and I feel like it's the perfect place to go ahead and showcase all of these different Pokemon. None of them should be too large for this room, so let's just go ahead and kick things off with Autumn Caterpie. So on top of having really cool custom textures, as you can see here, they also get an orange particle effect as well as a nickname that is multicolored and has the word autumn in front of it. So Autumn Caterpie right here, just basically an orange Caterpie. Pretty cool. Moving along to Metapod, same thing here. We got the particle effect and it's just an orange Metapod. And then we have Butterfree, which actually looks really cool. I love the shading on the wings, and it's probably my favorite Butterfree texture out of the three that are currently available. Actually, there's four, because there's Shadow, there is Shiny, and then there's the regular form, and now the Autumn form. This one, actually, I think it is my favorite. Now, moving along to our next Pokemon line, we have Swablu, Altaria, and Mega Altaria. All of the new Pokemon that have Mega forms should have their Mega forms in this version of the texture pack. Speaking of which, if you guys do want to get this updated version, you can either just go ahead and update your Technic mod pack if you are using the Technic mod pack, or just go ahead and click the link down in the description to download this resource pack directly. But here we go, just kind of a basic little change. The clouds are slightly yellow tinted, and then the bird itself is kind of like an orangey brown pale color. Not my favorite autumn texture, but I think it does add a little bit of variety since some of them are brighter, some of them are a little bit more pale, and there's already some pretty cool Altaria textures, so we might as well add something that's a little toned down and not too crazy here. And then of course Mega Altaria. It doesn't look terrible, it doesn't look great. Let's move on to some other Pokemon. So another thing I want to mention is the winners of this contest will actually be announced at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. First, second, and third place will all get their money rewards. You can go ahead and message me if you are the person that submitted one of the winning textures over on Discord, and I will get back to you with exactly how you can redeem your prize. So if your texture is included, make sure to go ahead and check Discord announcements, because that's where I'm going to tell you exactly how you can redeem your prize, which is going to be obtaining your Pokemon in-game. So moving along, we have Chansey here. Now, these ones aren't going to have the particle effects and the custom names because it was taking a really long time to add all of those, so only the first 6 showcase that. However, any that spawn in the wild will have those custom names already included, so just because they're not being shown here doesn't mean you won't get them in game if you find one. Now, Chansey's going to be a super rare one because Chansey itself is already really rare. So I'm not even sure if anyone's ever going to see this texture in game outside of the person that created it, and we might have to do something about that. Maybe we'll do some contests where you can choose any of these autumn textures that you like, and that could be pretty cool. Moving along to Cottony, one of my favorites just because of the shading. It looks really cool, and Whimsicott looks really awesome as well, keeping the whole orange to yellow to white shading theme that it has going on here. I think it looks awesome. And then a Lapras, this is actually one that I just made real quick. I think it looks pretty cool. There's already a few different Lapras skins. There's the shiny, the default, the shadow, and now this one. It would be really cool to see like an actual like sea turtle themed Lapras. I might actually end up making one of those at some point in the future. But moving along, we got Spiritomb, and this one looks pretty cool as well. Pretty basic, and you can see the different orbs in there are kind of designed. It's kind of hard to see through video. Next up, we got Phoebus. This is actually one of the more unique ones. It has some leaves on the Phoebus texture, which looks okay. Not my favorite thing in the world, but this melodic is actually kind of like a rainbow autumn themed. It wasn't quite autumn themed, but I felt like it looked cool enough to where I was fine with including it. So you might end up finding one of these spawning out in the wild if you get lucky enough. Moving on to Sentret. Just kind of an orange Sentrant. Has some cool tail colors, I guess. And then, of course, for it to go along with it, same thing, has a couple different color stripes and is orange rather than its default brown color. And then moving along to Rufflet, another one that doesn't really change too much, but I think it looks okay and it adds a nice little variety to all of these autumn textures. When I was going to actually request these for the contest, I wasn't really looking for anything that stood out too much. I was kind of thinking more along the lines of just basic orange, brown, yellow colored textures that look nice but aren't really too crazy. So we have a long ways to go here, but we are moving into some of the cooler Pokemon very, very soon here. We have Petalil, which looks decent, kind of just a pale orange, off orange color. I don't even know what you would call that, but moving along to Lilligant, a little bit more of a brighter orange, and I think this looks actually really, really cool versus the default green color. Now, I don't actually know what color Shiny Lilligant is, so they might actually be similar. I have no idea. But moving on to Phantom, this is actually one of my favorites. Definitely in the running for being one of those top 3 spots. I don't know for sure quite yet, but it is definitely a really cool texture, and it's more than just a color change, which is why I actually really like it, and it does look really good as its evolution as well. So I think they were going for more of like a birch tree color with the orange leaves, which I think ended up looking really awesome. And here we have the Ralts line. Nothing really too crazy with this one, just basically orange instead of green. And there is Mega Gardevoir and Mega Gallade, but I'm not going to be showcasing them here because it's just too many Pokemon, and I don't want to wait for the Mega Evolutions to happen. With that being said, they are pretty similar in the color scheme to these different Pokemon here. They're pretty much identical, just with the different models. But yeah, I think these look pretty cool, and I can't wait to see some of them on the server. Hopefully a lot of these Pokemon spawn. I feel like Ralts is going to be a big one, just because of how common the Pokemon is. And here we go. We have the Eeveelution lineup here, which is probably one of my favorite. I think it's really cool that you have basically the opportunity to evolve into any evolution that you prefer. So let's just go ahead and kick things off with Eevee, and it's actually just a green leaf Eevee. Doesn't really fit the autumn theme, but because it has all these different evolutions that evolve into it, I think it actually is really cool. So it goes from a green leaf Eevee into all of the different autumn-themed evolutions here. So we have Vaporeon, and it looks pretty nice. Not necessarily the most autumn-themed out of all of these, but still a pretty cool Pokemon. And then we have Flareon, which isn't really too crazy. Actually, I think it looks pretty similar to Shiny Flareon. Isn't Shiny Flareon just kind of a paler orange? And then we have Jolteon coming up next, which, again, just a little bit of a paler color, but there are some cooler ones coming up very, very soon here. Leafeon, for sure. I like this a whole lot better than any of the other Leafeon textures in the game. This looks absolutely amazing, and this is for sure the one that I would want to be using on my team. Next up, we have Glaceon, which, again, one of the cooler ones. This is actually probably my top 3 out of all of these different evolutions. And then we actually have some more that didn't fit on my team, but we still need to get, which is Umbreon, Espeon, and Sylveon. So let's go ahead and start things off with Sylveon here. Looks really, really cool. Again, one of my favorites out of all of these, and really different from the regular Sylveon texture. And then we have Espeon, which does look pretty much just like a Glaceon. I'm not entirely sure what was going on here, but it still looks really cool, and I don't mind including it, even though it doesn't necessarily fit right on the autumn theme. I felt like having the evolution lines for Eevee would be really, really cool. And then Umbreon, the final Eeveelution here, looks absolutely amazing. Now, I am going to have to say, still a big fan of the shiny Umbreon, probably a little bit over this, but it is a cool twist on the colors, and it does end up looking really, really cool. And you can pretty much put any color with Umbreon, and it looks great. And here we have another Mareep line. This is actually one of the more unique of the autumn Pokemon, which ended up looking really, really cool. And it actually has, of course, its Mega form as well, which I'm going to be showing you guys just because of how unique it is compared to the rest of the evolution line. Here is Flaffy. Looks pretty cool. There's some little bit of artwork going on, so they went the extra step. Rather than just changing the color, they added a little bit more detail. And then moving on to Ampharos, again, looks pretty cool. And then the final one, Ampharos Mega form, looks super different and kind of has like a coffee thing going on, like coffee I don't know. It has like splotches of brown. It looks really, really awesome, and I like how this texture turned out just because of how unique it is compared to everything else that was entered into the contest. All right, guys, so we are in the final stretch here. We actually have the final 6 Pokemon to showcase for the autumn contest, and then I'll be letting you guys know the winners. So Honedge, here we go. It looks really, really awesome. Kind of takes on like a rusted sword Japanese style thing you'll see once we get into the Aegislash. It has a little bit of Japanese writing on it, which apparently means autumn. I hope that's the case. I can't read Japanese, so what do I really know? It could technically be anything, but it does look really, really cool either way. And of course, you're going to go ahead and do a flip through the ceiling. Nice. And then we have the shield form, of course, here, which I think is probably my favorite out of all of them. And then moving along, we have a Victini skin. I couldn't not include this. It's a candy corn Victini, and it ended up looking really, really good. So that is, of course, going to make it. And by far, the coolest texture that I had to include. I just couldn't pass up on it. It's a little more Halloween themed, and we are going to be doing a Halloween texture contest very, very soon. But I just had to implement this Manaphy into the game because look at this thing. Look how awesome this is. Now, I really don't like that the name is in the middle of it, kind of annoying, but either way, this thing looks incredible. Let's see if we can get it to stand still here. Take a look. Look at that. That is so cool. So this is actually, might as well go ahead and say it, this is the first place winner for the contest. I can't hide it. I actually really love this texture, and it's by far the coolest one out of this entire contest. Now, there were quite a few other runners-up. I guess not really by far. There was quite a few that were really, really cool, and we're going to go ahead and showcase which Pokemon got second and third place now. So here we go, guys. First, second, and third place. In third place is actually going to be the Mareep texture that we had a look at earlier. And the reason that it's going to go ahead and get third place is because it's so much more than just a color change. A lot of work seems to have went into it, and it looks really, really cool. And I really love how unique it ended up being, especially with that Mega Form being included. It does look really good. And then second place, I'm actually going to be giving to all of the Eeveelutions just because there was, I think, there's 7 Eeveelutions plus Eevee, so 8 Pokemon that had to be made. Now, with that being said, it is second place because a couple of the textures didn't necessarily fit into the autumn theme as well as they could have, but a few of them really, really did stand out and really did look amazing. So we have Eevee in second place, and then of course first place is our autumn themed Manaphy, which I will say is going to be extremely rare here on the server. It's not going to spawn in the wild. The only way to actually obtain this Manaphy is to, number one, be the person that made it. You will go ahead and get a free 100% variant of this Pokemon. Or number two, win it from a giveaway. And the first giveaway for this Manaphy is actually going to be right here in this video. So if you want a chance to win this Pokemon, and I mean, you technically have the opportunity to choose whichever autumn themed Pokemon you want from this video, I would choose Manaphy if I were you because it's the only way to actually obtain it. But whatever autumn themed Pokemon you want, you can choose from. So if you do want to enter the contest to win your choice of autumn themed Pokemon, go ahead and leave your username down in the description and let me know what server you play on. And also make sure to go and let me know what your Discord username is so I can go ahead and send you a message. I will pick the winner, and the winner will be announced by tomorrow. So if you are watching this video right when I post, don't wait. Make sure to go ahead and go down there and do it right away. With that being said, we still have a couple more textures that I want to show off before we end this video. These are non-autumn themed. They're going to be added to the Aura Egg. They look really cool, and I can't wait to show them to you. So first up, we actually have a Tortuga, and it is a turtle-themed skin. So it's just looking like a sea turtle here. I think it's a really, really cool design, and I really want to go through and give this sort of a themed texture to all of the different turtle Pokemon in the Pixelmon mod, like Lapras and a whole bunch of others. There's actually quite a few different turtle type Pokemon, and then of course the same thing is going on with Caracosta here. And then we actually have a tribal themed Rufflet. Now this Rufflet was actually supposed to be included in the previous update, but I kind of forgot to include it, so it's going to be added in now. And both of these Pokemon will not spawn in the wild. They will actually be added to the Aura Eggs here on the server, and that's the only way they're going to be obtainable. So if you do want to get those, you can actually go ahead and purchase the Aura Eggs over on the server store, which is currently 40% off. The sale just started today, and everything store-wide is going to be 40% off. I don't know how long the sale is going to last, but if you are interested in supporting the server and getting yourself some of these really cool Pokemon, you can check it out at buy.pokecentral.org. So guys, I'm actually going to go ahead and end this video here, but before you click off this video, if you haven't already, we are going to be doing a Halloween themed texture contest very, very soon. So if you want to get started on your textures, you can definitely do so. Just keep in mind that any textures that you do implement will have to be very, very high quality for us to even consider adding them to the server. But with that being said, you can pretty much do whatever you want. They can be spooky, they can be costumes, or really anything, and it'll just depend on the quality of the texture if they end up getting added here to the server. More information on that will be included in our Discord announcements once that contest goes live, as well as possibly a video explaining it in a little more detail. If you guys do want to download the current version of our resource pack, it'll be linked down in the description. If you're using the Technic mod pack, it should update automatically, and you should be able to start seeing these Pokemon spawn in the wild as soon as this video goes live. So if you're watching this video, then the Pokemon should be implemented on the server. With all that being said, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.